Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive all about smart homes. There's so much talk about this tech, so we're going to break it all down.
Yeah, for sure.
We've got a few things to help us out today, kind of map out this world.
Okay.
We've got some marketing stuff from Bitdefender, a Romanian blog post that really gets into the history of smart homes, and then a guide from Digitalpedia.
Sounds great.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Smart homes, they aren't new. This idea has been around for over 50 years.
Wow. I mean, it's really fascinating to see how it's all evolved, from those first tries at automation to the stuff we've got today. But the idea is kind of the same, right? Using tech to make our homes comfy, safe, and all that.
So let's just start with the basics. What is a smart home?
Basically, it's like you're using devices and systems all connected, and you can control it all remotely.
Okay.
So think like lights, the temperature, appliances, security, entertainment. It's all about making your living experience smooth, integrated.
So it's like having a command center for your whole house.
Exactly.
You can just do everything from your phone or even just talk to it.
Exactly. And the possibilities are they keep growing as the tech gets better.
Yeah. But how did we even get to smart homes? They didn't just appear overnight.
You're right. This Romanian blog post, it takes us through the history of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s and 80s, those first home automation systems, they were so clunky.
Really?
Oh, yeah, and expensive. You needed all this wiring and stuff. It did very little and cost a fortune.
Wow. So it was kind of a rich person thing back then.
Pretty much. Not really accessible to everyone, but things started changing in the 90s.
Okay.
When they developed communication standards, and that made connecting your home a lot more realistic.
But it wasn't until the internet and smartphones blew up that smart homes really took off.
Exactly. The 2000s, that was the turning point. Suddenly we had all these devices that could talk to each other.
Right.
And we could control them from anywhere.
Remember those old universal remotes? They were supposed to control everything?
Yeah.
That's ancient history in the smart home world.
Totally. And now we've got Alexa, Siri, Google Assistant. You just tell them what to do.
It's like having a digital butler or something.
Exactly. And if you look at what's happening now, it's all about AI. It's getting so personalized, it learns what you do, anticipates what you need, really customizes everything.
So the future is everything just working together, knowing what we want before we even know it, and making life easier.
Exactly. It's your home working for you, not the other way around.
Okay, so we've got the basics, the history. Let's talk about what's good about having a smart home.
Okay.
Digitalpedia has some good points, starting with energy efficiency.
Oh, absolutely. Imagine your thermostat just adjusting itself based on where you are in your schedule, or lights dimming when you've got enough sunlight.
Right.
Small tweaks, but they can really change how much energy you use. Saves money, and it's good for the planet.
Yeah, I could see how that add up, especially with energy prices being what they are.
Totally. And don't forget about how much easier it is, controlling your lights, appliances, security from anywhere.
That's got to be good for peace of mind, knowing you can check on your home no matter where you are.
Exactly. And speaking of security, smart home systems, they can really step it up.
Like getting those alerts on your phone if something's up, or watching your house through cameras.
Yeah, like having an extra set of eyes and ears looking out for your place 24/7.
But it can't all be good, right? There must be some downsides, too.
Of course, no tech is perfect.
So what are some of the, let's call them challenges of smart homes?
Well, money is a big one. Setting up a smart home can get really expensive.
I bet. Especially if you go for all the fancy stuff.
Right, you got to be realistic about your budget. What features are most important to you?
Yeah.
And then there's security concerns. Like anything online, smart homes can be hacked if you're not careful.
So you got to be smart about passwords, keeping things updated.
Absolutely. And another thing is, you really rely on the internet. If that goes down, a lot of your smart features are useless.
That's true. It's a good reminder that this tech, as cool as it is, can fail sometimes.
And some systems can be tricky to set up, to troubleshoot. Not great for people who aren't that techy.
So it's important to pick a system that's easy to use and has good customer support.
Exactly. You want something you can figure out and get help if you need it.
Okay, so pros and cons covered. Now let's focus on cybersecurity. Bitdefender, they're big in that world.
Yeah.
And they have some interesting things to say about protecting smart homes.
What's interesting is they focus on your whole network. protecting every device, even those that don't have antivirus software.
So we're talking like smart TVs, appliances, even those light bulbs.
Exactly. Anything connected to your network could be a way in for hackers, and they really believe in their ability to keep you safe.
They talk about their award-winning tech, how they protect against all these different threats,
Yeah.
and they care about data privacy.
Right. That's huge these days with all the data breaches. You want to know your information is safe.
Yeah. And they're not just talking. They have good results in independent tests for both protection and performance.
Which is reassuring. And while their Bitdefender BOX2, that was their separate device for smart homes, it's not available anymore, they're now more into integrated solutions like Netgear Armor.
Okay, so they're basically building security right into your home network.
Exactly. It's about protecting everything together.
Okay, so now you want to build your own smart home, right?
Yeah.
What advice do our sources have for getting started?
This Digitalpedia article has some great tips. They say start with a plan.
Okay.
Figure out what you want your smart home to do. Is it security, saving energy, just convenience, or all of that?
Yeah, it's easy to get lost in all the choices.
Exactly. A plan helps you focus. Pick the features you really need.
Then they say start small. You don't need to automate everything at once.
Right. Start with a few simple things like smart bulbs or a thermostat and add more as you go.
So you don't get overwhelmed and can figure out what works for you.
Exactly. And another big thing is to think about compatibility.
Okay.
Not all devices work together. Some use different tech, different platforms.
So you got to make sure everything talks to each other.
Exactly. You want a smooth system, not a bunch of gadgets fighting each other.
And we can't forget about security. It's so important.
For sure. Strong passwords, different for each device. Turn on two-factor authentication if you can, and keep everything updated.
All simple things, but they really help protect you from those cyber threats.
Absolutely. And talk to your family about how to use the smart home safely, responsibly.
It's about making a home that's not just smart, but safe and respects everyone's privacy.
Exactly. Finding that balance between tech and how we live.
Great. So we've covered a lot in this first part. The evolution of smart homes, the good and the bad, and how to stay safe.
We've laid a good foundation.
But there's so much more to talk about. In the next part, we're going to dive into the future of smart homes, the ethical stuff, how it all impacts our lives and society.
It's a conversation that's just getting started.
Welcome back to our deep dive.
All right.
Now we're going to get into the world of smart home cybersecurity with Bitdefender.
Okay.
Their material, they really hit hard on the whole protecting your devices thing.
Yeah, it's interesting. Their focus is on your entire network, not just like one device at a time.
Right, not just your computer or phone. We're talking everything. Smart TVs, appliances, even those little light bulbs, all that's connected.
Exactly. They say any of those things, if it's on your network, it could be a way for hackers to get in. And they seem pretty sure they can keep your smart home safe.
Yeah, they talk a lot about their technology, how they've won awards, and how they protect against a bunch of different threats.
Plus, they care about data privacy, which is really important.
Absolutely, especially now with all the data breaches happening. You want to know your info is actually secure?
And they've got good results from independent tests for both protection and how well it performs.
That's good to hear. They had that Bitdefender BOX2, which was a separate device just for smart homes, but it's not available anymore. Now they're more into solutions that are built in, like Netgear Armor.
So it's like adding that extra security right at the source, your home network itself.
Okay, so Bitdefender seems like a good option for keeping your smart home safe. But what if you're ready to start building your own smart home right now?
Well, this Digitalpedia article has some great tips for beginners. First off, they say start with a plan.
A plan, okay.
Yeah, think about what you actually want your smart home to do. Is it about security, saving energy, making things easier, or all of the above?
Makes sense. There's so much out there you could easily go overboard.
Exactly. A plan helps you stay focused on what matters most to you.
They also say to start small, which I like. You don't need to jump in and automate your whole house at once.
Start with a few simple things, maybe smart bulbs or a smart thermostat, then add more as you go along.
Yeah, so you don't get overwhelmed and can figure out what works best for you.
And another big thing is to think about compatibility.
Oh, right.
Not all devices play nice together. Some might use different technology or platforms.
So you got to make sure they can all talk to each other, right?
Exactly. You want a seamless system, not a bunch of gadgets that can't communicate.
And of course, security. Can't forget about that.
Absolutely crucial. Strong passwords, different for each device. Turn on two-factor authentication if you can, and keep everything updated.
All simple things, but they make a big difference in protecting yourself.
Right. Being proactive about your security is key.
Okay, so we've covered a lot about setting up a smart home and staying safe. Now let's look ahead. What's the future hold for all this?
This Romanian blog post, they've got some interesting predictions. They talk about homes that anticipate our needs, before we even have to ask.
Wow.
Like your home just knows what you want and makes it happen seamlessly.
So it's not just a smart home, it's like an intuitive home.
Exactly. They talk about homes that can adjust the lighting and temperature based on your mood using biometric sensors.
That's crazy. So your house literally responds to how you're feeling.
Yeah, it's like your home becomes an extension of you, adapting to your every need.
Wild. What else do they predict?
They also see smart homes playing a bigger role in sustainability, which is great.
Yeah, it's important.
Imagine homes powered by renewable energy, seamlessly integrated into the whole smart system.
So your home is not just convenient, it's helping the planet too.
Exactly. And as AI and machine learning get even better, we can expect even more personalization and intuitive features.
So it's like having a digital butler who knows you better than you know yourself.
Exactly. And as this technology gets cheaper, more people will be able to experience it.
So it's not just a luxury for the rich anymore. It's becoming more accessible to everyone.
Right. And with that comes responsibility. As we use this technology more and more, we have to be mindful of the challenges and make sure it benefits everyone, not just a few.
Good point. It's a powerful technology. We need to use it wisely. It's amazing to think about all the possibilities for smart homes, where it could all go.
It really is. We're just at the beginning of this whole thing.
Well, that brings us to the end of part 2 of our deep dive. We've covered cybersecurity, tips for getting started, and even glimpsed into the future.
It's been a great discussion.
In our final part, we'll wrap it all up and leave you with some things to think about. Stick around for the grand finale. All right, welcome back for the last part of our deep dive on smart homes. We've gone through so much, the history, the pros and cons, even what the future might look like. It's been a wild ride.
Definitely a lot to unpack. Going from those first kind of clunky systems to the AI-powered stuff we might have in the future, it's incredible how much it's changed.
And it's still changing so fast. Seems like there's a new gadget every day, something to make homes even smarter.
Yeah, it shows you how creative people are.
Yeah.
We want our homes comfy, convenient, and connected.
Totally. So as we wrap this up, what really stuck out to you during this whole deep dive?
I think for me, it's how much potential smart homes have to really improve our lives in so many ways.
Yeah.
You've got better energy use, feeling safer, more comfort, and even just the entertainment side of things. It could make a real difference.
And to think, this is only the beginning. It's going to keep getting more advanced.
Oh, absolutely. As AI and that machine learning stuff gets better, it'll be even more seamless. Our homes just get us.
Like, it's not just a smart home. It's a home that's almost thinking, anticipating what we need.
Yeah, adjusts to how we like things, makes life easier and more enjoyable.
But it's not just about that comfort, right?
Yeah.
Smart homes could be a big part of being more sustainable.
Exactly. Think about homes powered by renewable energy, keeping track of how much they use, making the most of resources.
So it's smart for us A&D the planet.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
And as we get more connected in general, these homes, they'll be part of our communities, our cities, in ways we can't even imagine yet.
It's both exciting and kind of daunting, all that possibility.
For sure. And it's up to us to shape it, by the choices we make, the tech we decide to use.
So here's a question for everyone listening.
Yeah.
What's your smart home future look like?
Yeah. What do you want your home to be able to do?
What should these homes be like for us and for society as a whole? Share your thoughts. Let's keep talking about it on social media.
We'd love to hear your vision for the smart home of the future.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep being curious and exploring the world.